Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maya Luisa. Today I have a video for you that it is stretching me to be able to say these things. It makes me a bit uncomfortable, but I was woken up very early in the morning this morning with this message, with this on my heart to speak it, and it just came through, and so I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna hold space for releasing it. I might bring up a lot for you. It might be, I'm gonna close this. It might be really difficult to hear some of the things that I'm gonna say, but and it might stir up a lot inside of you. So just honor those feelings. I'm gonna give you a technique on how to release the feelings, release the emotions, to make space. I'm also just know that if anything does come up, that if it's coming to the surface, it means that it's ready to be healed and it's ready to be released. So just know that, okay? So I'm going to begin. This video is particularly for women of color. This is for women who are of the diaspora, meaning that you have ancestry that came from Africa here into the Western world, in the United States, Panama, Cuba, Puerto Rico, all over the islands, Jamaica. We all have very similar, or experiencing very similar experiences now when it comes to love, when it comes to marriage, relationships, childbearing. There's certain key traits that I'm seeing, and I think that it can be addressed in a certain way that we can establish some healing and some new ways of being, new ways of doing things. So I'm going to begin with letting you, or reminding you, that as African people, descendants of our ancestry is that of Africa. Whether you have one drop, or you're 100%, or 50%, you are still an African. You have African ancestry, you have African blood. So we are the descendants of dynasties, we are the descendants of kingdoms, we are the descendants of a very rich and amazing history and lineage. Our lineage is the lineage of people who were once the most richest kingdoms and dynasties that existed on the planet. Richness not only in wealth of gold and resources, but a wealth of knowledge, wealth of libraries where everyone around the world would come to learn mathematics, science, astronomy, all of that. We are the descendants of these people. Yes? Okay, so I'm gonna talk about now about the way that our ancestors, prior to their enslavement, their approach to marriage, their approach to love, relationships, how they did it. And it's still practiced to this day. So Africa is a huge continent filled with thousands of different cultures and language and stuff. I'm speaking specifically in the Western part, and the reason why I'm not saying a specific country is because those country lines were drawn by Europeans. So some of the tribal ways and the customs, they cross over those borders. And I'm going to just be talking in general of some similarities, but by no means am I trying to smear everything together and make it like one lump thing. There are intricacies within the tribes, but I'm just going to be very general right now. So generally, what would happen is you, as a young girl living in the culture, at the age of around 12 to 15, when you start your menses, you would go through a rite of passage. In the rites of passage, you would be surrounded by elder women, other than your mom, and you would be taught things like spirituality, things about femininity, things about womanhood, about cooking, child rearing, how to maintain a home, how to maintain the spiritual current of your home, skills, and all types of things about how to be a woman. And when you came back in from your rites of passage, when you came back into the community, you were then recognized as a young woman. You were now it kind of rebirthed into a new version of yourself and accepted and embraced by the community as a new version of yourself, as a woman, as a young woman. The same thing with the boys. At a certain age, they would then be taken from their family and go through their rites of passage, where the alpha men of the tribe would come and teach him about how to be a man, how to hunt, certain skills about providing, skills about manhood, and they would be able to channel, because at a certain point in a young man's life, they have that's when the excess, like more testosterone starts filtering into their body. That those hormones are then channeled in a positive way, because he's surrounded by other alpha men, and that they're able to channel that energy in a different way. So he goes through different life skills and different trials and different accomplishments that he's taught. And when he returns to the tribe, he returns as a man. And I think this is really, really important, because a lot of times what I see what's going on with young men is that they are feeling these hormones and feeling and wanting their mother to respect them as a man. And she, as a mom, we always going to be like, that's my baby, that's my little boy. And so that can always cause conflict, especially if it's a single parent household, because the boy wants to man up and be a man. And us as women, sometimes as a mother, it can be hard if we're not supported to see him that way and to respect him that way, because he's always going to be our baby boy. So that's why these beautiful cultural traditions that we come from, that's our bloodline, were set in place to bring harmony into our homes and to help us excel as human beings. Okay? So that's what happened when you were a teenager. So then when it came time for marriage, the marriage wasn't like, oh, it's all on you to figure out who you're going to marry. It was very much your family would be involved in the marriage. Your family would be involved in choosing a mate for you. Your family knew your personality. And another thing that's so beautiful about the rites of passage is that as a human being, one of our core needs is the need to be accepted as we are, exactly how we are. And as you go through the rites of passage, I think that is a beautiful way that we are embraced for who we are. You often are given a different name that defines you and just your particular flavor. And I think that is beautiful, because it allows you to have that confidence in your innate ability to be somebody that is unique, yet you're still embraced by your community. So at the time of when it's time to get married, your family would very much be involved in the marriage journey, and it would very much be seen as two families coming together. And so the way that they're chosen is chosen based off the relationships with the family, but also based off of the information about you and if you'll be compatible with that particular guy, for example. And because you go through these rites of passage, because the community embraces you, because they know you, it's easier to get married in that way, because your family is vetting for them. And so you know that particular boy has gone through the rites of passage, has been groomed in that way that he can't get away with mistreating you. He can't get away with impregnating you and then leaving. He can't get that wouldn't even be heard of, because he's been vetted by his family. He's accountable not only to your family but to his as well. So there's very much a check balance situation that's put in place to make sure that your mate is going to be a good option for you, and also that he's ready, that he knows what his role is as a husband and as a father, potential father for your children. So there's the expectations already there. The expectation is already in place. And then it's also that that this young woman knows how to raise children, how to do the wife duties and all of these things. She's been groomed in that way. So it lessens the conflict in the marital situation. So what's happening now? And you'll even see this like in and they still practice this in many different cultures, and you'll even see this so also in traditional African cultures. There is a dowry. So when the man does want to propose, he will then bring the daughter's family significant amounts of money, of resources, of yams, of goats, of sugar, of flour, like showing the family that I know how to make money. I will provide for your daughter, and it's a gesture of love, but of abundance, but also like, I got you, I'm gonna take care of her, she's going to be well. It's also a gesture showing the family that he can provide, that their lineage will continue on, that the children will not, their grandchildren will not starve, because this man knows how to go and he knows how to provide. So you'll even see evidence of this in modern weddings. You'll see in Yoruba weddings, you will see there will be the dowry there, and there will be like some fruit, some yams, some things. And I've even seen like in really like high-end multi-millionaire, billionaire status weddings, you will see like the groom will buy the bride a car or something like that, and they will announce it, they'll have pictures of it in the wedding. That is like the modern day representation of the dowry. So beautiful. So for us as women of the diaspora, we have been, as you know, taken from this tradition. It has been stolen from us. We have been, our name, our identity, our spirituality, our livelihood, everything has been taken from us through the transatlantic slave trade. And because we have this disconnect with our culture, with our way, with our lineage, we have also endured the oppression and the unbelievable horrific events that occurred from our ancestors endured. And so when we look at the way that they endured life, the horrific events, and what that has done to the body, the mind, the spirit of the African woman living here, we look at this occurrence of not only a grief in our womb, not only a trauma in our body, in our heart, a disconnect from the ability to really truly bond and connect, because there is a past trauma of our husband and our children being taken from us. Okay, so there's this concept of epigenetics, and epigenetics speaks about how your environment can change the way that it affects the way that your genes work. So I believe that what happens is, when there's this continuous heart-wrenching occurrence in the heart, chakra, in the womb chakra, of your love, your husband being taken from you, your inability to bond with the babies that you birth. All of those things start to live in the body. The trauma obviously lives in the body, and then those traumas are then passed down. So what I notice is that now, women of the diaspora, I see that we have this, first of all, just like statistically, we are the women of the world that are the highest that are not married. And it's not because we are not wonderful and amazing wives, but I believe it's because of this trauma that has been passed down, this fear that our husband might leave, he might be taken from us, he might be separated from us. And so the heart then becomes closed in a way. And that's not for all of us, because yes, some of us are married and all of that stuff. But I'm talking about this deeper trauma that exists. It may exist where you feel like you can lose your partner at any time, or there might be just this inability to have this firm and beautiful attachment and love. And so let's take a deep breath in and exhale out. So I don't want to stay in this place. If this stirred anything up for you, I invite you to place your hands on your heart right now. If you're feeling any of your past ancestral energy coming forward and feeling into this, place your hands on your heart right now. And I invite you to just repeat the ancient Hawaiian prayer. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you can repeat that as many times as you need to and begin to release. Make sure that you drink lots of water today. Okay? So what happens is now we are still living in the repercussions of this, and how it has manifested in today's society is this independent woman, because we've had to be, right? Because systematically the Black family has been sabotaged, it has been targeted systemically. Okay, this has been a target, because let me remind you how powerful family is. Powerful family is. When you're in a home with a mother, a healthy relationship with a mother, a father, and children, what happens is the woman then becomes this anchor for her husband. Then when he goes and he works, he's working from a place of even more power. And then he's then coming home and raising the children to be balanced, raising the children to have knowledge of self, raising the children to stand up for themselves, raising the children to be even more powerful than they are. And then the wealth also continues. I've done a video on this too. The wealth in the home starts to bloom, it starts to illuminate, because the woman is in her feminine energy and she's manifesting all types of abundance, and the man is going out and making money, coming home and feeling this spiritual current in the home and feeling more inspired to make more money. It's a whole cycle of like love and abundance and strength. Even if the woman is working, if your woman is working really hard, the man might step in. He's another set of eyes and be like, hey babe, you should ask for a raise. Or hey babe, why don't you go and do it like this? Because women, when we're in this cycle of being single, especially single mothers, believe me, I come from that. You're in fight or flight a lot of the time. You're just trying to get everything. The world is on your shoulders. You're trying to have so much on your plate. You're not able to really take that time to take a look out and see what's really happening with your life, or even be inspired to. Oftentimes, this is statistically proven that single women are not going to be the ones asking for a raise, even though they deserve it, even though they're the ones that are working the hardest. So society benefits off of you being single. They benefit off of you being a single mother, because your children, and this pains me to say, but your children, especially your son, then becomes more likely to go to jail and be more likely to be cheap labor for this country. And you being a single woman working your ass off is also cheap labor for this country. So the whole independent woman thing is, I believe it's really, really pushed. And I understand and I recognize that we've had to do what we had to do because things happen. But we've gotten into a culture where we don't value love. We don't value relationships. We no longer value marriage. It's very much about career chasing and getting so many certifications and so many degrees and so many PhDs. It's almost like you're strapping yourself up to protect yourself because you don't believe that you can find a partner that can provide for you. And I'm not saying don't get your education. Of course, get your education. Of course, have your own money. But it doesn't have to be either or. It's and. Have your career, have your money, and value love, marriage, relationships. Like really, really invest in that. And I just want to quickly say, when I talk about providing, there's this whole thing about like, how dare a woman look at a man's pockets, she's a gold digger. Let me tell you something. Genetically, like on a gene level, on a DNA level, women fall in love logically. We have gone through our entire journey on this human planet to fall in love with the alpha male that we see that can come and bring us the most food. Why? Why does that open us up? Why does that make us fall in love? Because we as human beings are genetically programmed to reproduce. So a man that has money, it's sending signals to us that yes, I'm not going to have to struggle. He can provide for me. If I get pregnant by him, I'm not going to have to be out in the street working. I'm going to be at home with my baby. We're programmed that way. It's not like, oh, she's checking my pockets. Yes, she is. It's her gene. She's listening to her gene. Her body's talking to her. DNA is talking to her. Men don't fall in love logically. Women do. Men fall in love emotionally. I've done videos on this. So this whole clap back with, oh, she's money. She's supposed to. She's supposed to. She's looking out for her genome, because women, we're not supposed to be working until 9 months. We're not supposed to be, having a baby and then dropping it off somewhere to go and work. We're supposed to be home with our children while the partner is supporting us and going. And unless you have a job that you can, easily work and raise your child, but going out and having to be in a stressful environment and work, this is very new to our body makeup. Our body is not chemically designed to do that. So the whole independent woman thing, that I don't need him, and when you show up on a date and you're just like with a closed heart, I don't need you, I'm showing off how much money I have, I'm showing off how's that working out for you? We've been taught this, we've been trained this for a reason, but I invite you to try a different way. Really, really get in touch with your true desire. And so not everyone desire, I recognize that maybe you just want to be alone, and that's fine. But deep down inside, you might have a desire. Honor that desire. If you desire marriage, honor it. Don't think logically like, oh, I had a string of bad relationships and I come from a broken home. That's thinking in the mental plane. Come into your heart. Come into your soul. What is your soul yearning for? Do you want to wake up in the arms of a man that loves you, that adores you, that cherishes you? That is deeply healing. That is deeply healing. There's a huge thing out there in the media. Everybody's saying marriage is hard, marriage is hard, marriage is hard. It is challenging, but it is deeply healing. You know why? Because most of our trauma, most of our core wounds happened in the family home. When you recreate that, you're healing your soul, because you're recreating it and healing past those things. You're recreating that environment, that home environment is deeply healing for your soul. It's deeply healing and will help you to evolve and help you to ascend. But if you stay closed off, from the opportunity to heal those things. I know this was a lot. So, I'm not saying to be beholden to a man. I'm not saying that you should be relying on a man for money. I'm saying, yes, get your education. Yes, you have the ability. We all know that we can generate money. We all know that, But I want you to really honor the desire that you have in your heart for partnership. And so if this is resonating with you, if you're like, you know what, I do really want partnership, I want marriage. If you really do, the first step I would say to getting out of the independent woman trap is to honor your desire for love. Honor that desire. Even if you can only speak it to yourself because you're in a circle of friends that are just independent and running tricks on men and using men for tips and tricks and money and all that stuff. Even if you don't have anyone you can say it to yourself. Honor your desire. That's the first step. The second step I would say to do, okay, so this is the other thing. In media, they always tell you marriage is hard, marriage is hard. In media, they are always constantly bombarding your mind and your social media feed with dysfunctional relationships, dysfunctional marriage, because it's clickbait. But if that's all you see, and if you have a slew of bad relationships, you might think, oh, I'm just better off being by myself. No, you're not. You're actually better off in partnership, because we are wired to be in partnership. You are genetically wired for love. Your body, every cell in your body is genetically wired for love. You're built for it. You are love. Once you peel off all of the layers of all of the programming and the trauma and the things that you inherited, once you peel off all of that, love is beautiful. It's easy. It is your essence. It is truly who you are. It's truly who you are. It is. It's a lot easier than being a cold, wounded individual. That's work. Being love, that is your natural essence. You are literally wired for love. Throughout the 65 million years, human beings have evolved to love and to be in marriage, to be in family, to be in partnership. We are genetically designed for it. We're not meant to live alone. We are not meant to live alone. It says it takes a toll on your body. It takes a toll on your mental health. It takes a toll. It takes a toll. It truly does. So the second thing I would do is to detox. Detox. This is if you're really serious. I hope that you listen to what I'm saying. Detox all of your social media feeds. Detox what you watch. Detox what you consume. Go on a diet with what you're putting in front of your eyes and what you're listening to, because that is another way that we ingest information. So if you're watching reality shows and all types of dysfunction every single day, that is being programmed in your subconscious. Detox from it. I don't care if it's like super entertaining for you. If you're serious about this, I'm telling you, detox from it. And then you can add something to it. And so instead of just taking away, let's add in movies that are about love, movies, different shows that show loving, beautiful relationships, and start to watch that, start to see that, start to embrace that. Start to see in your friend group healthy relationships. Look at that dynamic. Look in your family. Is there a healthy relationship? Is there a marriage that I know that I want to model that? Be inspired by, be around that, grow into that. You have friends that are married that have beautiful relationships. Start to watch, start to see, start to be around that. Bring yourself into that energy. Detox all the social media feeds that is just chaos, that is showing drama, that is just clickbait, that is just, detox from it, because what you see is something that you become. Your thoughts become reality. So be really, really careful with what you're consuming. And remember that society profiting off of you being single. So it's a program. So then the next thing I would do is I would start to invest in myself. So if you know that you're coming from a broken home, if you know that you have issues with love, if you know that when you're sitting across from a man on a date, you cannot get out of your mental plane, there's a lot going on. If you're easily, whoa, something just fell. If you're easily triggered, get some therapy. Get some therapy, get some help, talk to a professional, get some life coaching, take some courses, but invest in you. Start to invest in your health. Start to invest in your skin. Start to invest in your hair. Start to invest in your financial literacy. Start to invest in you. Start to read lots of books. Read books on healthy marriages. Read books on communication. Up-level your communication skills, because that's something you're going to definitely need in a relationship, in a marriage. And that's, again, the opposite is being shown to us every single day through these reality shows. Invest in your body. Start to have the best body of your life. All of those things. And so work on the last thing I will say, or two more things. And so after investing in yourself, continue to see when things arise, when things come up, when you think of past times that you showed up in relationships in such low worth. If just things just arise, things start to stir up even after watching this video, if you're left with these emotions, do that healing prayer. Place your hand on your heart. Ask for guidance from God. Ask for guidance from your higher power, your source, and continue to get that support from the divine, that I want to heal. Please assist me. Please come show me the way, show me the next steps. Please guide me. I'm here. All of those things. So you're evoking assistance from the spiritual realm, and pray in the way that you want to the way that you're comfortable with, but I get guidance from the spiritual realm as well. So you begin to start to open your heart. You begin to start to relax into your body, to get off of the defensive side. You begin to start to release things that you've been holding on to in the body. So I'm just gonna leave you with that because that was a lot. But I pray that you continue to honor your desire for love. And if you need assistance in getting into your feminine energy, in getting into your body, getting into a practice of regulating your nervous system, a practice of honoring your femininity, releasing things from the womb, continuing to open your heart, doing lots of feminine dancing, yoga, journal, meditation. I have a beautiful, beautiful new course. I put it together with all of my heart, all of my prayers. Like I definitely co-created this with the divine. This is my baby. I'm so excited. And I have this course called Kole Radiant Goddess, and it's how to get into your goddess era of your life. So if you resonate with that, the link is for the course is in the description of this video. I just sending you lots and lots of love. If this resonated with you in any way, please leave a comment. It stretched me a lot to say these things because I normally don't talk about this particular topics, but it was so strong. The message to say this was so strong. Literally woke me up out of my bed at like 4:44. So I'm honoring those internal nudges and I'm speaking my truth. And so I pray that it resonates with you, that it helped you in some way. And I'm sending you so much love. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.